Hello, and welcome to this brief overview of how to access Ram's Head Orchid and Dwarf Lake Iris data files in the Ridges Sanctuary Dropbox. We'll start with a very brief review of the types of data files we will be covering here. Here is a typical plant measurement data file for a Ram's Head orchid plot from 2017. And here is a typical plant measurement data file for a dwarf lake iris plot from 2025. And here is a typical environmental monitoring CSV data file, which has the same format for both Ram's Head Orchid and dwarf lake iris datasets. Okay, let's see how you can access these files in Dropbox. Here we see the section of the overall Ridges Sanctuary Dropbox folder structure addressed here. The purpose of this tutorial is to show you how to get down to the actual data files that we just saw. Let's follow the example of accessing a Ram's Head Orchid plant measurement data file. Here we are at the Ridges Dropbox. A variety of materials are stored in the Ridges Dropbox, but here we are focusing on just the Ram's Head Orchid data files and the Dwarf Lake Iris data files. And start by accessing Ram's Head Orchid plant measurement data files. Following the example of the Ram's Head Orchid data, click on this Dropbox folder to open up the Ram's Head Orchid folder, where you will see a subfolder for plant measurement data and a subfolder for environmental monitoring data. Selecting plant measurement, you will find a zip folder that contains Ram's Head Orchid plant measurement datasheet transcriptions for each year of data. To download the plant measurement data sheet transcriptions, click on the three dots, select Download, and then download the zip folder. Inside the zip folder, you should see folders with datasheet transcriptions by year. With any luck, each of these folders contain the datasheet transcription CSV files for each plot measured in that year. To get the environmental monitoring data for Ram's Head orchids, follow the path to environmental monitoring, then to processed environmental data, and then to the zip folder for each year. Here, you can download the environmental monitoring data sets for each year. We just followed the procedure for accessing Ram's Head Orchid data files, but note that the scheme for accessing Dwarf Lake Iris data files is exactly the same. This concludes the brief overview of how to access Ram's Head Orchid and Dwarf Lake Iris data files in the Ridges Sanctuary Dropbox.